Hey guys, this is going to be a video on how to stake QTUM. There's been a lot of questions on the forum. A lot of people have been confused getting their staking set up. So we're going to try to address a lot of the problems. And I'm by no means an expert on this. I'm kind of learning as I go, but I've been successful. And my goal here is going to be to help get as many people up and running as possible. The document that I used mostly to get up and running was the QTUM staking guide up on Steemit by CryptoMiner. We're going to be following along with that. I think there's a few things that we can change a little bit to make it a little easier, and that's what we're going to go over now. So to get started, what I got was the starter kit from CannaKit. It's going to make it really easy. It comes with everything you need. In here is going to be the actual Raspberry Pi. It's also going to come with some stuff that you might not have and need. It's going to come with HDMI cable. There's going to be power supply in here. The case, which I have over here, I definitely recommend getting a case for it. We'll put that together later. It's also going to come with an SD card in here that's pre-flashed with noobs. That's going to make it a lot easier, and we're going to skip a few steps from the Steemit guide with that. If you do not have this and you just have a regular Pi, I'll post a link where you can actually go online and it'll show you how to flash noobs onto an SD card, which will make following along on here pretty easy. You're also going to need USB keyboard, USB mouse, and then some kind of monitor, TV. I just have it set up here on my TV. That was the easiest for me, but if you guys want to set it up on a monitor somewhere, you can do that as well. So let's get started. So before we put this together here, I just want to make a quick note. I'm going to be putting together a reference document for this video. I know that there's going to be a lot of questions, so I'm going to take all the most common questions that I see here and then on the Reddit forum, and I'll compile them and answer them and put them on that document. And if anybody sees a mistake that I make, feel free to point it out, let me know, and then I'll add it to that document as well, or I'll post a revision. So getting started here, you can see the CannaKit comes with, to start, this is just a Pi, and to quickly go over what's on here, you're going to have the 4 USBs, you have Ethernet, you also have built-in Wi-Fi onto the Pi 3, and we're not going to be using it, but you have audio, HDMI for the monitor or TV we're going to be using, make sure that it has HDMI. The power, this is for your power, I believe it's micro USB. Make sure that you get a power supply that's rated for the Pi 3. If you get this, it's going to come with that as well. On the back here we have the SD card. It's the when you get this kit as well, it's going to come pre-flashed with noobs. It's going to make it a lot easier. If you did not get this and you're just starting with a basic SD card, I'll post a link with instructions on how to get that noobs flashed over on here so you can get the OS on here that we're going to be using. Alright, quickly put it together. You can see these matches up with the SD slot here. So the back side of the case just goes on fairly easily. Yeah. This one just snaps on. That one's easier. You can see here, I would also recommend getting these heat sinks. You're going to need to put these on just to kind of dissipate some of the heat there, and they'd come in this kit as well. Pretty easy to come on. It's just kind of like a double-sided thermal tape that comes with these, and you just stick them on there. And then this just snaps right on top. And that's it. That's all you need to do for this part. Okay, let's get this thing powered up. So I got the Pi over here. Like I said, this is what's going to be making this a lot easier. We're going to be diverging a little bit from the Steemit tutorial PDF that everybody has. We're going to be using a monitor setup. This is just the TV I have with HDMI. I got my keyboard and my mouse already plugged in here, USB. So all we're going to do here is plug it in, and that will start it up. Do is my OS is already loaded, so we're gonna have to do a reset on here. So when you power yours up, if you have noobs preloaded on here, this is a screen that's gonna pop up automatically for you guys. And what we're gonna do, since this is gonna be a dedicated staking platform, we're not gonna want the heavy version. We're just gonna do the Raspbian Lite. And from here, you're gonna be able to set up your Wi-Fi. So you just come in. Mine's already set up and connected, but you're just gonna connect your Wi-Fi here, hit OK, and then you're gonna make sure that you just have this one selected, and then you're gonna go ahead and hit install, and then it's going to give me a warning here. You're just going to install. It's going to begin, and this is going to take a little bit, so we'll kind of fast forward through the section here. So while the Pi is rebooting, I'm going to come back to my laptop here, and I've written out a Word document that we can kind of summarize where we're at now. So we've already gone over the hardware. We've gone over the complete starter kit from CanaKit Raspberry Pi. We have the USB mouse, we have the USB keyboard set up, and we have it hooked up to the monitor and TV, and it's got to have HDMI. So now that we have all this set up, we need to go to our files and programs. If we did not get the complete starter kit that has the SD card with noobs flashed on it already, we're going to need to have that set up. So if you have not done this, you will need to have this set up. Now where you're going to go to do that is you're going to come to raspberrypi.org.help videos noob setup and just watch this. It'll help you get set up with that. If you have done that, we can go ahead and skip to the next step. We're going to come here. Next thing we're going to need is WinSCP. Now where do we get that? This is going to allow us to transfer the files from our laptop or desktop over the network we're on, could be the Wi-Fi router, to our Raspberry Pi. And that's important because we're going to need to load the wallet on there and eventually our wallet backup files. So we get it WinSCP. We're going to come to this website here. So come here, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You know, everybody knows how to download and install a program, but just come and get WinSCP, the latest version, download it, install it, and once you're done with that, we're going to need to move on to this one here. Go away. So we're going to need to get PuTTY next. What PuTTY is going to allow us to do is it's a program that's going to allow us to remote into our Raspberry Pi from our either desktop or laptop. So we're going to get that from this website here. So come here and download the one that's appropriate for your platform. So, you know, I'm only doing a Windows install here. Go ahead and download and install PuTTY and get that up and running. The last thing we're going to need is the most important, which is the obvious QTUM ignition wallet. Now, a lot of people have been making the mistake of sending the new coins to an old ERC token 20 token address. So we do not want to do that. Make sure that you have the most updated mainnet wallet. You're going to get that from their official GitHub, which is going to be here. So you can go up. You can see QTUM here, GitHub, mainnet ignition. You're going to come down, and the one you're going to need to get is going to be this one right here. It's going to be the Linux one, 32-bit ARM, and this is for, it even says right here, it's for the Raspberry Pi. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to download this one here. Once you have that downloaded, you are done with the files and programs. Okay. So now that we have loaded in the OS, I'm going to move over to my laptop now. It's going to make it a little bit easier for you guys to see what's going on. But this is going to be on your monitor that's hooked up to your Pi with your keyboard set up and everything. So the first time you log in, and again, it's going to look a little different, but it's going to ask you to log in. And anytime the first time you log in with a Pi, the username by default is going to be Pi. And it's going to ask you for a password. Again, mine's going to look a little different, but the default password for this is going to be Raspberry. So go ahead and type in Raspberry and then enter. And it's not going to show you what you're typing. It's a way of hiding it, but just type it in and then hit enter, and it'll log you in. So the first thing you're going to see is a command prompt line here, and we're going to need to set up some configuration stuff. So we're going to type sudo raspi config, then hit enter, and we're going to come to a screen that looks like this. Now, the first thing we can do is we're going to need to change the password. The default password is Raspberry. We obviously don't want that. So we're going to hit enter, we're going to hit OK, and it's going to ask us to enter a new Unix password. Pick one, whichever one you like. I'm not going to tell you mine, and type it in. Again, it's not going to show it, but just type it in and hit enter, and then you're going to have to reconfirm. And the password was changed successfully. The next step is the host name. So we're going to click here, we're going to hit enter again. And since this is going to be a dedicated QTUM staking platform, you might as well call it QTUM, but you can call it whatever you like. And when you're done, you're just going to go OK. For boot options, this one has always worked for me. You can just go enter again on this one, and now that's done. I already have this set up, but it's just a way. You don't have to really do this, but it's a way to set up where your location is. So if you click here, it's a way to change your locale, and then you can change your time zone as well too. So you can come in here, whatever time zone you're in, you can set it up. So when you're done with that, go ahead and hit enter. And I'm in the United States, so we're going to come all the way down. Nope. United States. And we're going to hit OK. And that's done. Now, this is the most important one. This is the one that we're going to need to set up. You come here, you hit enter, and we're going to need to make sure SSH is enabled. So just come here to this one, hit enter. Would you like the SSH server to be enabled? You're going to hit yes. We want that to be enabled. SSH server is enabled. Okay, good. Awesome. We are now done, and you're going to come down to finish, and you're going to hit enter. Would you like to reboot now? So when you hit yes, it's going to reboot, and I am going to show you a few more things while it is rebooting. So go ahead and hit yes, and your Raspberry Pi will then reboot. Okay, now that your Pi has rebooted, you're again going to be asked to log in. So your username is going to be Pi, and your password is going to be whatever you set it to. So go ahead and type that in and hit enter. Now you are going to have the command prompt line again. Now the next step is we're going to need to find out what our new Pi's IP address is. So how we're going to do that is we're going to type in sudo if config. You're going to hit enter, and you're going to get this screen right here. You're going to get these numbers that come up. So you're going to come down to this one, and this is the number right here that is going to be your IP address. So you're going to go ahead and write down this one. It's going to be some version of 192.168.1.76. It's most likely going to be different, could be the same, but this is the one we're going to need. So go ahead and write that number down, and we're going to need to come back to our laptop. So now that we have written that number down, we come back to our laptop, and we're going to need to start up Putty. So go ahead and start the Putty program that you downloaded and installed, and we're going to need to write that number down here. So it's going to be, this is mine, and whatever yours was, go ahead and type it in. Port 22, and you can see here the connection type. We have already enabled SSH when we configured the Pi earlier, when it was set up to the TV. And we're going to go ahead and click open. Now the first time you open this, you're going to get a warning. I've already done this, so the warning is not going to be there. But when the warning comes up, it's okay. Just hit continue or yes or okay, and we are now connected to the Pi. So it's going to ask you to log in again. The username is going to be Pi again, same one. And the password, whatever you reset it to, you're going to need to type that in here. So go ahead and type that in. And now we are in. So let's kind of recap where we're at now. We're going to go back to the schema here, the guide, and see where we're at. So if you come down here, we've already covered the bill of materials, the setup and everything. Step one, we've already covered this. So by using noobs, we kind of bypass this step. We already have the OS on our Pi. It's good to go. again, we've done the SSH. It was very easy to set up. You know, you use noobs and you power it up, and then you go through that initial setup. And as long as you enable the SSH, you're good to go here. We configure the Wi-Fi, again, very easy. One of the first things you do once it's powered up. And we have now started and we have accessed our Pi. So where does that leave us? We are going to do a little bit of admin work now. So now that we have remoted in, we're on our laptop or desktop now, and we're connected to the Pi, we're going to need to get it updated. So we've already changed the password here. We're going to come down and we're going to get the most updated system. So come back to PuTTY, and what you're going to type here is just going to follow along: sudo apt-get update. And that's going to go ahead and load it all up. Now this one doesn't take too long. The next one might take a little bit longer for you. I've already done this. You're going to type in sudo apt-get upgrade now. Now this one's probably going to take a little bit longer for you. I've done it again, so it's going to be quick for mine. But once you're done, we're going to need to check the power management for the Wi-Fi. Now you can skip this step if you're using Ethernet, but most of us, I'd assume, are going to be using Wi-Fi, so you're going to want to double check this. The way that we do that is we're going to type iw config, and this is going to be just to confirm. You can see here by default power management is on, so we are going to need to turn this off. Now how do we do that? We are going to need to create this file right here, and I will show you how to do that. So what we're going to do, we're going to come back to PuTTY. I'm going to move this here so we can see this address, and we're going to need to type out the following. So we're going to go sudo nano, and then we're going to type in the address etc network interfaces.d/w LAN 0. Let's see here, sudo nano etc network interfaces.d WLAN. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and enter, and this is going to bring us to the file editor. Now what we're going to need to do is, it's easiest if we don't type this out. We're just going to copy it, and then we're going to come back to PuTTY, and all we're going to do is right click. It is now here. So how are we going to do this? We're going to go Control X. It's going to ask us to save it. We're going to hit Y for yes, and then we're going to hit enter. Done. We have made that. Lastly, we don't need to do this. I didn't do this for my last setup. We're going to need to perform the reboot here just to double check it. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to come back to PuTTY and going to type in sudo reboot. So now that your Pi has rebooted, you're going to need to go back over there to your Pi, log in on it. It's going to ask you to log in again, so type in Pi, your password over by your USB keyboard. Now you're going to come back to your laptop, come back to PuTTY, and type in your IP address again. And we're going to need to log in. So go ahead and type in Pi, whatever your password was again, and we're in. And we're just going to double check that power management is turned off. So type in iw config, and look at that, power management is now turned off with that file. So we are good to go on here. So what do we need to do next? We need to get the QTUM wallet file onto the Pi. How do we do that? Well, we have already downloaded WinSCP. So we're going to go ahead and open up WinSCP, and we're going to go here, change file to this. The host name is going to be same IP address. And you're going to need the addition of your username and your password, which which is going to be whatever you set it. Now again, the first time you do this, you're going to get another warning. It's okay, just click through the warning and say yes. I'm not going to get that since I've already done this. And now we're in. So I have mine under downloads, and here it is right here. Okay, so what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to right click, click upload, click OK. This is going to move it over here. Now, this was the difficult part for me, but I found out this is what works for me. So you're going to need to copy this and make sure that you're linked back in to your Pi. And remember that we renamed it. So we're going to need to come in here and we're going to need to change this to whatever we named it. I named mine QTUM. And we're going to need to change the version to version 3. We're going to hit enter. Now for you, I've already done this, but if this is your first time, it's going to give you a warning and you're just going to need to click yes. And then after that, you're going to need to type in your password again. So do that and it is done. So what we do now is we need to come back to the PDF and we're going to copy this. Go back here, hit enter, and the PDF that I copied doesn't have the full address here, but what we're going to need to do is go to copy here, and the first thing we're going to need to change this to 3, and then the full file name we're going to need to put in, which we can see here. So QTUM 0.14.3 to match ARM, Linux. Then we're going to need to type here. We're going to need to add this. And I'm just going to double check this real quick. And we're good. It is done. So what we're going to do now is we're going to verify that it's running by running this in the command. So when we enter this in, we should just get back the wallet version. Let's check. Hopefully we've done everything right. It's done. We have loaded the QTUM wallet on here now. So how do we use it? Let's find out. So what do we do next? We have covered step 6. We are now on step 7 of this process that we need to do here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create a file, and this is going to automatically restart the wallet if your Pi ever restarts. So if you remember, what we're going to need to go is to file editor. And we will bring that up now. So if you remember, we're going to type in sudo nano and then the file path here. And if we did this right, we're just going to double check system D system, and we are going to insert this into the file. Copy, and we're going to paste it in here. Okay, we're going to hit Control X, yes, and enter. And it's done. We now have that file created. So what we're going to do next is we're going to run these right here. So just go ahead and copy and paste these. And this is going to make sure that QTUM restarts every time that the Raspberry Pi does, which is good if you're staking because you want as much staking time as possible. What am I doing? Go here, and it has now created that symlink. So we are pretty much finished with setting up the wallet. Now, there's going to be a lot of things that you can do here. To start up the wallet service, you're going to run this. To stop it, you're going to run this. It's pretty self-explanatory from here. This is something that we can run here. So if we reset the Pi, we can run this to make sure that the QTUM wallet is running. And what this will do, this is just going to show the process that's running, the QTUM process. So the most important thing that we're going to do next is if you want to load your backup wallet file to the new QTUM wallet on your Pi, how do you do that? So we're going to need to replace the wallet.dat file on the Pi, and we're going to need to place the new one that you're currently using in there. I'll show you how to do that right now. So what we're going to do next is we're just going to quickly test the stop. So you can go here, and what am I doing? You can stop it. You can start it, but there's also this. So anytime you stop it, you're going to want to run this. Go ahead and run that, and then we can start it again. So what we're going to want to do next, we're going to want to encrypt the wallet. Very important that we do this. So like he says here, we can see what the unencrypted wallet looks like by running this. So we'll go ahead and run this, and we'll see what it looks like. And this is just going to be, it's going to give you your balance and how much you're staking, if you are any. And we're going to need to encrypt it next. So we're going to come here, and we're going to copy this in. Now, this is going to, you're going to hit this, and what you're going to need to do is, once you hit enter, you're going to need to type in your password. So you can just type in something more secure than this, and then you're going to hit enter, and after you hit enter, you're going to hit Control D. Now it's going to let you know the wallet is encrypted. QTUM server stopping, restart to run with encrypted wallet. So it even lets you know that down here too. So we're going to come here. This is the important part. You need to back up the wallet.dat file. Where do we find that? You are going to find this in WinSCP. So come over here to WinSCP, and this is just going to be where everything is on the Pi. You're going to come up here to find files, wallet.dat, and you hit start. Here it is. So you click on it, and it's going to bring you right to it. This is what we need to back up. So you can go ahead and take this, and what are we going to do? We are going to download it. And we're going to send it to downloads. So it'll show up here. We hit OK, and we have now backed up our file. Our wallet.dat file is now on our laptop or desktop. Now, what if we want to take an existing wallet that we already have operational on another computer, whether it's Windows or Apple or whatever you have it running on? What we're going to do is we're going to come here and we're just going to delete the wallet file in here. So to go ahead and delete that, and then just go ahead and pretend this is the wallet file that you're currently using. So you're already up and staking on your computer at home. Now we've set up the Pi. You're going to take this and you're going to upload it over to here. You're going to hit OK, and you're going to move the new file there. Now, if this were your file, you would now be running the wallet. So you got your wallet encrypted now, and if you've wanted to transfer over a wallet to your Pi, you've now exchanged out the wallet.dat file, and you have your wallet up and running, but it's locked. You're not staking. Everybody watching this video wants to stake their coins. Well, how do you do that? We can verify that the wallet's locked by doing this. You're unlocked until 0. This is the amount of seconds until it's unlocked. It's 0, so the wallet is locked. The command we're going to need to run to unlock it is going to be this one. Now, once we run this, it's going to silently prompt you again for your password. And if you're using the wallet file that Pi created, you're going to use that password. Now, if you have moved over an existing wallet you're running to the Pi, that's going to be your new locked password. That's going to unlock it. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy this. You're going to paste this here, and you're going to hit enter. Here's the silent prompt. What was our password? Test 1 2 3. You're going to hit enter. Now the next thing you're going to need to put in here is this, the amount of seconds that you want it unlocked for. Excuse me. So you can put however many seconds you want it unlocked for. You know, like on the PDF, that's like a year's worth of time it'll be unlocked for. Now this is the important part. If you want to unlock the wallet just for staking, you're going to enter true. If you want to unlock it for sending coins or anything, you enter false in there and it'll unlock it completely. So you hit enter, and then you're going to hit Control D, and our wallet is now unlocked. So we can run the same command again. We're going to do the get wallet info, and it should show us that it's unlocked. So we'll double check that. We're going to come back here, enter this info, and it is unlocked. So we have done it. We are now staking our coins, if you have mature coins, that is. So if your coins have matured for over 500 blocks, they're going to be shown as staking in here. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to show you how to check for that. Essentially, you're going to run this same program, except it's going to be get staking info. Now this isn't my wallet. It's saying that false because there's no coins in here. This is just a test wallet. But if we were staking and we did have mature coins, it would be showing true there. And if you run get wallet info, when you finally win a reward, what's going to happen is your balance is going to move over to your stake, and it's going to show that you're staking coins and that you've won the block. Now that's a whole separate video explaining that. It's getting pretty late now, so I think we've set out to accomplish, we've accomplished what we've set out to do here. We know how to stake the coins on the Pi, and I'll try to get this together tonight and then post it. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll type up that reference document, and I'll have that added along with this PDF that we've been kind of following, and I'll post that with this. So thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.